It finally leaked as we found out the real news and updates surrounding around the Kevin Durant trade saga at the trade deadline when he was almost sent away to the Golden State Warriors in a reunion in the Bay Area. So what happened to Kevin Durant in those rumors, and how will Brian Gregory approach a possible Kevin Durant trade as the Suns look to escape the second apron restrictions that they are currently in? We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support on the channel these last couple of days. Hitting the like button, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and coming out for our stream with my guy John Voita from Bright Side of the Sun and Suns Jam last Thursday. So I appreciate all the love that you guys have been giving us on the channel. If you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything, though, make sure to continue to hit that subscribe button, as once again, 65% of you guys who watch these daily videos are not hitting that subscribe button. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on all the updates, make sure to stay intact. We will have more guests coming on the live. I'm currently working to try to get another guest potentially next Thursday or the Thursday after that. So definitely stay tuned for all the fun stuff we're going to be discussing here on Suns Digest. But without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand today. Make sure to grab that snack and let's get into it. As this is very interesting for the Phoenix Suns and a story that has just gotten finally revealed to all of us as it has been leaked, and we want to dive in and look at this report. We can see that Warriors Steve Kerr gets honest about a near Kevin Durant trade with the Suns, and as we all know, the Suns at the trade deadline were looking to acquire Jimmy Butler for Bradley Beal, and almost in an effort to get Jimmy Butler on this team, almost traded away Kevin Durant to do so, but Kevin Durant nixed the trade, and as we got more details revealing about it, we're going to break it all down. And Durant kind of opened it up saying, "People talk crazy about me all the time." He told ESPN, but that's not the reason why that he didn't want to come back to Golden State. He just didn't want to get traded midway through the season, as it was nothing against his time with the Golden State Warriors. And Steve Kerr, who had Kevin Durant in his 3-year stint in the Bay Area, opened up about the trade as well, stating that I think it's well documented that we were trying to get Kevin Durant, but that didn't happen. And after that, Mike Dinwiddie calls me and says, "I think we're going to trade for Jimmy Butler. I'm going to vouch for him. Guy's a gamer, hell of a player, and I think that's going to work." And I said, "Great, let's do it." We needed a change. And as we all know, the Golden State Warriors did need that change. That change actually helped them get into their playoff stint, postseason stint, in which the Suns, without getting a guy like Jimmy Butler or trading away like Kevin Durant, fizzled away and into the non-play-in stint where they were sitting on their couch watching everybody compete. And unfortunate for Suns fans, that's the path that they went down. And if you would think that they should have traded Kevin Durant for Jimmy Butler, obviously there's people that think so. I'm the one that doesn't think that they should have done it. I think that they should have respected Kevin Durant's trade, and for the reasons why. Obviously, I do believe that in a panic trade like that, the Suns would have been able to get the most value for a Kevin Durant deal, even if he isn't expiring and has less value this offseason. But not only just that, I think it's kind of a sentiment for Phoenix, right? If you are the Phoenix Suns, and if you're a team that is trying to get a guy like Jimmy Butler, but then trade away your star player to do so, what does that send to the rest of the NBA? What does that send to players trying to come to your organization? To me, it sends that regardless if you play for us, even if you're at your peak value, even if you say you want to win here, we're still going to trade you, try to get better, and even if it doesn't work, we'll bite the bullet in the end. In my opinion, if I'm an NBA player, that's not a situation I want to walk into. So ultimately, I think it was right that the Suns did not do this move, correct? I think it is great that they did not move a player in Kevin Durant, but as we all know, the Durant trade may still happen, right? As the Suns still look to escape this second apron, still look to try to get out of this hellscape that they are in. Durant's name is still being circled and revolved around in these trade rumors. Now, I don't think a reunion in the Bay really makes much sense now after they have extended Jimmy Butler. Durant going to Golden State doesn't really make much sense, but there are a plethora of other teams that we have discussed on this channel. Teams like the Spurs, the Rockets, the Mavericks, the Timberwolves, the Heat, the Celtics, all said to potentially be interested in a guy in Kevin Durant. And I do think that those rumors will spark up as we get closer and closer to the offseason. I do believe that the Suns will look to part ways with Kevin Durant, like I had mentioned, but I don't believe that it will be happening before the draft. I think it will be happening post-draft in that 2025-2026 calendar year, where the Suns have a little bit more flexibility being in the first apron after waiving guys like Vasilij Micic and Cody Martin to give them a little bit more leeway in acquiring either some bad contracts in a trade or acquiring more money in a Kevin Durant trade if need be, to really kind of reset themselves or get a re-situation. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like I said, this news kind of really just came out of nowhere, but it's something that we have to discuss, kind of look at and break down, as Kevin Durant was almost traded this season, which would have been, in my opinion, a disaster for the Suns team, because even if they got a guy like Jimmy Butler, potentially a guy in Jonathan Kuminga, I don't think that this team would have been in any brighter spot without that scoring punch. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And the next part we're going to get into is a little bit of an update, as well as some new news has dropped on the Suns in their head coaching search. Not enough for me to make a full video on it, but I wanted to include it here for you guys. And once this actual news does drop, right, we will have a full video diving in, looking at these people and really exploring every situation for the Phoenix Suns. But John Gambadoro yesterday tweeted out, the infamous Phoenix Suns #1 insider, that the second round of interviews for the Suns head coaching job just finished up, with most of them still being on Zoom. In the next day or two, finalists who will be told and in-person meetings will be scheduled for this final head coaching search. And as we all know, there are 9 guys that are on this list for the Phoenix Suns at this moment. Jake Fisher and Chris Haynes were the ones that brought up this list. John Gambadoro on his radio show kind of went into a little detail on some guys that maybe did a little bit better, as he outlined guys like Chris Quinn, Jordan Ott, and Sean Sweeney had done pretty good in their first round of interviews. But obviously we will find out in later today, as this tweet came out 23 hours ago before recording, so it's almost been a full day, or by tomorrow, who these final 3, 4, potentially 5 finalists are for this head coaching search. And then we'll have a much more organized list, a much more comprehensive, detailed dive in all these head coaches, previously to how I did in the live stream here on Suns Digest, looking in and kind of figuring out who is the best fit and who is the best need for the Phoenix Suns. So once again, a little bit of an update on a Kevin Durant trade, as it leaked what happened between him and Golden State. It wasn't due to the fact that Durant didn't want to go back to Golden State. It's all due to the fact that he didn't want to be traded mid-season, all because he didn't want to have to reshuffle his life in the middle of one of his years where he was playing pretty well for Phoenix and wanted to stay, but obviously Phoenix wasn't heading in that right direction. So let me know your thoughts on all that news. Let me know your thoughts on the update as well from John Gambadoro on the head coaching search. Is there any name out of those 9 that we have previously mentioned that you would really like to see? Once again, I'm looking for Chris Quinn, Micah Nori, maybe a Sean Sweeney, David Bliss kind of in there for this head coaching search, but I want to know who you guys would like to see for the Phoenix Suns to really bring in. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And once again, thank you guys for showing your support, for coming out to the streams, for hanging out on the channel. It really does mean a lot. So thank you guys once again, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.